Oh, sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Oh, and welcome to the Reaver Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. All right, I'm trying to work this out real quick. We're now streaming live on TikTok, besides YouTube. So it's YouTube, TikTok, and Rumble we are live at this moment. And it's kind of difficult getting everything all up and running. I didn't test the system out. Do you expect anything less? So I think I got sound for TikTok. I know it's not picking up the sound off my computer. It went go to the profile. Let's see. How do I see? Profile. I wonder. Creator tools. What's that? Oh, it's always fun, new technology. If anybody called it last night, there was a great BZ show last night. BZ Bobcat Saloon. They had the return of the infamous Sackhead Sean. Those that are new don't know who Sackhead Sean is. Sackhead Sean is one of the original founders and had to step away. I wonder. Why isn't that showing me any of that? We will get to the show in a second. I'm just trying to figure this out. What if I could search myself? Why? Come on. There we go. All right, so I do have sound. All right, that's all I care at this time. I know the videos maybe need to be worked on later. Now I can't get the sound to stop in my ear. All right. Now that's going. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you had a great week. I know I had a great week. So, as much as I hate to do this, everybody, join in the chat. You can jump in the chat for Rumble. If you're on SHR Media on the Rumble page, just click the button that says chat. Join the chat and join the conversation. If you're watching through YouTube, of course, you can just right there should be to the right of your screen. If you're watching on PC, jump in the conversation. And if you're watching through TikTok for the first time, go ahead, jump in the conversation. So, let's see. What are we going to do? First conversation. Why isn't that going? There we go. There we go. All right. What do we want to talk about first? I see James O'Keefe is at it again. I love that guy. I love how he these people are so dumb and they think they're so smart. I'm not going to play. If you go to TikTok, you look up, they got a new one that they exposed the CIA, who was basically spying on the Trump administration. CIA was spying on the Trump administration. Come on, people. That's a bunch of bullshit. This is getting out of hand. This government is getting way, way, way out of hand. They think that they have the right to do whatever they want. They're stepping over our constitutional rights. They are spying on our presidents. They are not a government of their own, and they don't think they have to answer to anybody. And it's getting absolutely ridiculous with this. I know there's some people that are accepting it. Oh, well. No. I know the left doesn't have a problem with it right now because it's spying on the right. But what happens when it gets reversed and the right gets a little cocky and they start spying on the left? Left's not going to like that because the left had no problem with the Supreme Court when they had the majority. The Supreme Court was legitimate. The Supreme Court knows what they're doing. Oh, wait a minute. It's conservatives. Oh, it's out of control. They're extremists. They don't know what they're doing. The only reason why they're saying that shit is because it's the left. Well, they're on the left and it's the right. It has control. It's really getting almost to the point of being speechless with this crap. What was this? Want to play that, but I don't have TikTok set up to accept that yet. And it's pop that back in here. Let's see. No, not an image. I want to add a window. I wonder. I'm wondering. No. No. There we go. Now I think I got it. By George. Let's remove that. Let's move this up here. Now, for the big question is, why isn't there? There we go. My music wasn't playing either. Because I didn't hit play. Now, if I can get this working, and it works, I'm going to play a couple videos One of them is with Jim Jordan, and I love Jim Jordan right now. I don't trust any politician wholeheartedly because at any time they could turn against you. Look at Michael, what is it, Johnson or whatever the hell that jackass's name, the one that's in charge of the. Who's about the house? Let's do this. Bump. Oh, where? All right, pop that up. Now, let's see if this works. Because they're capturing that. And I want to bring up this. All right, let me get this queued up. We're going to share this. And we're going to go full screen. All right. Now let's see how this does.
Mr. Flaherty, when the Biden administration told Americans that the vaccinated couldn't get the virus, were they guessing or lying?
Congressman, I think first of all, it's important to remember my role in this discussion, which is as a communicator on behalf of
You work for the Biden administration, you're assistant to the president. It's a simple question. When they told the American people that if you get the vaccine, you will not get the virus, was that a guess or was that a lie?
Congressman, we were communicating on behalf of the administration. We were communicating the best information provided by some of the best medical scientists in the world in Atlanta, Bethesda, and beyond. Our role is
let me ask you a simple question. Can the people who got the vaccine, could they still get the virus?
Congressman, again, I'm not here as a medical expert.
No, that's as common. Everyone knows that. Of course they can. I'm just asking you a simple question. Well, let me do it this way. What's the definition of misinformation?
Congressman, certainly there's different and varying definitions of mis and disinformation. At the end of the day, the platforms.
Tell me the difference. Tell me what misinformation is.
Congressman, these are decisions that the platforms ultimately get to make about how they.
I'm not asking that. I'm a simple question.
Seems I'm not getting any video sound over.
Congressman, I think it's important in the context of these.
How about you,
Oh,
Professor? Can you tell me what misinformation is?
I assume it would be saying something was completely untrue.
Saying something that's untrue, but with no intent. No intent. Disinformation, this is what all the misinformation experts tell us. Misinformation, saying something that's not accurate. Disinformation, saying something that's not accurate with the intent to mislead. Right?
That
Seems to be
me.
real
You
low.
agree, Mr. Seligman? That's the common definition in the misinformation industry out there?
Yes, my understanding.
Okay, that's the definition. So now, Mr. Floyd, how about this question? When the Biden administration told the American people that the vaccinated couldn't get the virus, was it misinformation or disinformation?
Yeah, we'll have to go with that.
Congressman, again, we were communicating the best medical research that we had at the time on behalf of a group of some of the best doctors in the world in Atlanta and Bethesda.
When the Biden administration told the American people that the virus didn't come from a lab, was that misinformation or disinformation?
Congressman, again, I can't speak to discussions that were had on that topic. It's been a couple of years, but again, generally.
The White House put pressure on us to censor the lab leak theory. This was something the White House cared about, so much so that Facebook was having, the top people at Facebook were having a group discussion on it. So I'm just asking, when they said that, was that misinformation or disinformation?
Congressman, I can't recall the specific example.
When the Biden administration said that masks.
Don't you love how they won't answer any blatant, easy questions? Some of these are just simple yes or no answers. We're not asking for them to solve, string theory. And it's funny how they sit there and say words, but nothing comes out of their fucking mouth.
Was that misinformation or disinformation?
Again, Congressman, we were communicating the best research at the time, but I also believe that was a discussion that began in the previous administration as well.
How about what Professor Zawicki brought up, Mr. Flaherty, when the White House said there was no such thing as natural immunity? Was that misinformation or disinformation?
Again, Congressman, I am not a medical expert, and my job was to communicate on behalf of a team of medical experts.
You weren't a medical expert, but you could suggest to Facebook that they needed to change their algorithm so that the American people would not see stuff from the Daily Wire. They'd only see stuff from the New York Times. You can do that, but you can't tell me if they were guessing or lying when they said something that was absolutely not true.
Well, again, Congressman, my role was as a communicator on behalf of the best information available, and the role of the platforms was to have a set of policies that they enforced on their own. And that, my engagement with them had, no bearing on what they're...
No bearing? No bearing?
Well, Congressman, again...
Third day, who's Clark Humphrey?
Clark Humphrey was the digital director for the COVID...
Did you work with her?
Yes, Congressman, I did.
Part of the White House operation in the same area, right? You worked with her?
Congressman, she worked in a similar area.
Yeah, okay. And when she said on the third day of the Biden administration, wanted to flag the below tweet, wondering if you can get moving on the process for having it removed ASAP. That's not trying to impact what the platforms do. That's not telling the platform what kind of speech can be out there.
Congressman, again, we had the ability to flag whatever we wanted, and the platforms had an ability to say no. I can't speak to whether or not they took any action on the particular.
Well, no, if they said no, they get the President of the United States says that Facebook's killing people. They obviously felt the pressure. That's why they're having that group text conversation. How about this one? When the Biden administration told the American people the border is secure, was that misinformation or disinformation?
Congressman, again, I'm here to discuss my engagements with social media platforms.
I'm just asking. You were in the Biden administration when these kind of statements were being made. How about this one? When the Biden administration said the Inflation Reduction Act will actually reduce inflation, was that misinformation or disinformation?
Congressman, again, I'm here to discuss my interactions with social media companies.
Let me go back to the first question in the last 13 seconds. Any chance you'll answer one question for me? When the Biden administration told the American people that the vaccinated couldn't get the virus, were they guessing or lying?
Congressman, we were communicating on behalf of the best medical research that we had available at the time.
All right.
Simple question, simple answers. And they don't answer because they know what happens if they answer truthfully. They're fucked. Because we're going to come after them legal-wise, and we're going to be holding the government to the rules. So they won't answer because they know they're in trouble if they do. It's drives me up a wall. It really does. For those that are wondering, listening to a new supergroup, I am EYEAM. Beautiful. It's Crowbar and Typo Negative members. I think it's 2 from Crowbar, 2 from Typo Negative. It's blown me away. They only got 2 songs out so far, but holy shit. That's all. Oh, where's BZ? And all right, sending the boss a little message. And then there's this gentleman on Twitter, just something like great. Let me cue this up. I know I'm playing a lot of videos today. Marco Rubio, and I'm not a fan of Marco Rubio. But what he says here is spot on. Just watch out for the sound level, please. It might come flying in. All right. Sure. And here we go.
What I am saying is common sense. You're a visitor. You're not even an American. You're a foreign national. You're here because we gave you a visa to be here temporarily, and now you're out there defending and supporting Hamas, a terrorist organization. You need to go. That's what this resolution asks the administration to do. And I hope we can get a vote on the Senate, so at least everyone will know where everybody here stands. What I am saying is common sense. You're a visitor. You're not even an American. You're a foreign national. You're here because we gave you a visa to be here temporarily, and now you're out there defending and supporting Hamas, a terrorist organization. You need to go. That's what this resolution asks the administration to do. And I hope we can get a vote on the Senate, so at least everyone will know where everybody.
You know Schumer's not going to allow that vote to happen. Should, but it won't. And for some reason, TikTok's hitting me. Live visibility restriction. Your live is not eligible for recommendations and restriction in search result because it may contain unoriginal or reproduced content. I'm playing government official clips. We have the right to play government officials speaking. That's plain and simple. I'm not playing music. I'm not playing TV shows. I'm playing government officials. It just boggles my mind. It really does. I don't really care. TikTok is just more, I have fun messing with these liberals. That's about it. But they're giving me a restriction because I just played some clips from the U.S. government. No, we have the right to play those clips. Those are public entity clips. All right. Next, they're going to tell me I can't talk about news. All right. Don't forget, you're listening to the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on YouTube. Unfortunately, TikTok, Rumble. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, follow, like, share. Jump in the chats. Doesn't matter which one you're in. Jump in the chats. Join the conversation. That shit drives me up a wall. It really does. Ugh. Grr. Sorry. It pisses me off. Stupidity like that. So we have a Jamil Hill blasts frat boys after confrontation with pro-Palestine demonstrators. That frat should be barred from campus. You know who should be barred from campuses? These pro-Palestine, pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic sons of bitches. They should be banned. You're upset because they protected the American flag? Former ESPN personality Jamil Hill took exception to a video of frat boys counter-protesting left-wing pro-Palestine supporters who were marching on the campus of the University of Michigan, or Mississippi. Michigan, where the fuck did that come from? She's upset they protested, but it's okay for terrorists to protest. Give me a break. About 30 protesters gathered on Ole Miss Quad to show their support for terrorist Palestine as Hamas continues its pledge to kill Jews. Still, their protests also brought a large number of counter-protests who laughed at and mocked the pro-Palestinian demonstrator. So they mocked a bunch of terrorist wannabes, and you're upset about it. You're upset they used their free speech to counter terroristic speech. One video of the mocking sent the Atlantic writer to call for an investigation by the university's authority. Label the action as one counter protest to be racist. What isn't racist to the left? If you do something they don't like, racist, 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 xenophobic. You can't have a conversation with them because they don't have truth and fact behind them. And what do? Racist. They have weakened terms like racist because they use it so much, throw it around so much that it's lost its effect. It's lost its meaning. Ugh, damn. Red Bull. As I've said, you start throwing around that racist term like they do, 9 times out of 10, you're losing the conversation. Oh, bad day for my back and everything. There's got to be storms around. I am stiff as anything. Reacted to a video posted by an ex-user who accused one apparent frat member of dancing like a monkey in front of the black protesters. Hill insisted that the open hostility directed at black students will not raise the same level of concern as people who are concerned about anti-Semitism. Well, let's see. If I actually went and was being a racist and being derogatory and calling for the death of black students, I would have been arrested. But these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, pro-terrorists, pro-anti-Semitics don't get arrested. They get left alone on a lot of these bullshit colleges. And I've seen some of the best men lately. Just because you have a degree does not mean that you have intelligence. Do you know what schooling means? You're good at taking tests. That's basically what it means. So now she's trying to cancel this gentleman. And she wanted at least one of the frat boys to be barred from campus. One, what fraternity does he represent? That fraternity's national leaders needs to be contacted immediately, and that frat should be barred from campus. How about terrorists as Hamas be banned from campuses? Anti-Americans be banned from campuses. Let me see this. I got to see this video real quick. Oh, my God. There's no way that's what they're saying he danced like a monkey for. Oh, my God. Oh. All right, let me play this for you. Let me play this for you. No. Wrong button. There we go. You ready? You ready? Ready? That little bit. Watch him. He scoots back. He scoots back. Oh, he's dancing like a monkey. Oh my fucking God, people. He's not dancing like a money. He's scooting back. Oh my God. Here, I'll play the rest of it. Oh, that one there, sitting there. Oh, please. I see the one they're talking about now. That one right there. He's hooting and hollering and is sitting there like running in place. My God, that's what they're fucking flipping out about. Talk about some thin-skinned pussies. Get the fuck over yourself. Get the fuck over yourself, people. I just don't understand it. I'm not even going to give any more credence to this, not the article, but this idiot. Just like I saw this idiot on Twitter today. This idiot, young kid said how there was a big outrage in the 90s over Star Trek Deep Space Nine because a black guy had the lead role as captain. I watched that shit when I was young. I didn't know that was like that. I was doing work. I got this new mic stand. Not that crazy about it. The articulation is shit. The degree. I mean, that cheap little $5 desk lamp stand had more articulation than this thing does, and this cost a hell of a lot more. I don't even know what company it is. Won't be buying from them again. It's. So when I did it, the flag got moved over. So I hate it. I was kind of rushing. Wife got home from work. We had to jump the car. We had 3 eye appointments at 5:00. Didn't get home till about 7:15, 7:30. Make dinner, wolf down dinner, start prepping for the show. So I didn't get everything I wanted done before the show. But I'm getting new glasses, so I'll be able to see properly. I'll be able to read the computer and read the stuff up close. But last night's show, though, I can't speak enough about. I wonder if I'll get in trouble for playing part of BZ's show from last night. Let me see what I can find. BZ. No. No, I want BZ. What the hell? Oh, that's all right. This is from last night. Let me pull up. Let me get through some of that. And this is the return of the great, the wonderful, the magnificent co-founder of Sackheads Radio. Sackheads Show. I'm going to play you a clip from last night. Hope BZ doesn't mind. It's from the BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon.
Renton, that was a small office, if you could call it that. It was more of a closet. And then we went to our first real studio, and then we eventually ended up at the SHR World headquarters, which eventually became my full-time living room. That part's always kind of funny. And yeah, you put so much blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of people don't know that when you're doing this show. And I was not only doing SHR, I was doing guest spots on a lot of our other shows. I was producing a lot of other shows, and then I was doing our show prep, and then our show, and then all the social media and yada yada yada, and it was just too much. And I was also working a full-time job. I was still recovering from a ACL MCL replacement. It was just a lot at that time, and it really it broke my heart to step away, but it was the right thing to do. I had to do it. I mean, I miss it. Clearly, I still have the ability to broadcast, but I definitely miss it. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, the back and forth with you and Clint, and all of our great guests. We had some pretty amazing guests. And I can remember before Spreaker, we were on Blog Talk Radio, and that's where we met Ken McClinton. And we had a lot of fun there, and that was literally you called a phone number and started your show, and people could listen. That was actually
it was great listening to having Sean last night. Listening to him. If it wasn't for him, I know a lot of people are going to be mad at him, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. He's the one that gave me the chance. He's the one that actually I just was recording a couple shows, giving them to him, and I had a conversation with Chris Perantu, and if you don't know who he is, get your head out of your ass. He is one of the survivors from Benghazi. He's one of the brave heroes that fought and saved a lot of people when our government abandoned them. And this is before even the book came out. The book was getting ready to come out. And he agreed to let me interview him. Never did an interview before. So me and Sean talked, and we decided, let's do it live. So my very first show, which was very discombobulated, sounded like shit, was my end. I didn't know what I was doing. And it's gone on from there. You know, Sean was doing a show. You know, he was in California, but he was doing a show out of, I think it was South Philly, but they were broadcasting into South Jersey. And for those that don't know, I'm from New Jersey. I was born in Pennsylvania, raised in New Jersey. So he had to step away, and he asked me to fill in. And now I'm sitting there shitting bricks. I've never done something of that magnitude. But yeah, at the same time, it was kind of an honor because here I am, this Jersey boy. And yes, I call myself a Jersey boy because I was raised in Jersey. I spent 5 years in Pennsylvania, 30-some years in New Jersey. And the rest now in Florida. And to broadcast and do my show, well, I was doing his show, but I was doing the broadcasting, in South Jersey and some of the areas that I frequented, it just blew me away. And I see Sean last night. And yes, we have our attorneys involved, and we're in negotiations to try to get Sackhead Sean on the show for, a small appearance. The lawyers are arguing it out, hacking out a contract. You know, I didn't want the lawyers involved. You know how those Boston people are. You know, they're whining. They got to have their lawyers involved. I know I'm going to probably get some hate mail over that, but you got to understand, me and Sean, both of us from the East Coast, the Northeast, we both have that Northeast sense of humor. So kind of like he's from California, I'm from Florida. We're out of our elements. So to have that ball busting that we're used to, that's how me and Sean really, I'd say, clicked there. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to him hopefully tomorrow. Depends on if I sleep today or not, because he's got things to do in his time, vice versa. But I'm going to try to get a hold of him. Now, I'm going to let you know the next couple of weeks. We'll be doing the show on Monday, 9 p.m. I should be on next Friday. I might take off next Friday, and here's why. For those that didn't hear the original show, my father passed away in July. My mother moved in with my brother up in South Carolina. She's coming down. I haven't seen her since 2 or 3 days after my dad passed. I have not seen her. I've spoken to her a lot, but she's coming to visit for 3 weeks. So that Friday, I might not be on air because my mom's just coming in. Her flight's coming in like 4 or 5 o'clock at night. My wife's picking her up. By the time she gets home and all that, I might not be on air. And I do apologize, but family comes first. I haven't seen my mother in a while. So probably going to spend some time with her. Then, I'll do the shows while she's here. Yeah, I'm not. But she also wants to go fishing with me. And that's something I got her and my dad. And God, not too long before my dad passed, we were able to get him out. Because he loved the outdoor. He loves the ocean. My dad was U.S. Coast Guard. And he loves the salt air. So it did him good getting him out there and, smell the fresh air and all that. Get that salt air in him. So, yeah, I don't know about Friday. I can't guarantee. I'm going to try, but can't guarantee. And like I said, we're going to talk to Sean on Saturday, hopefully. And I talked to Dan the Man Butcher. And he even agreed one night when he's feeling better because he's going through treatment for cancer also. And, my prayers go out to him. It's, those who've had family members with cancers will understand. Right now, even saying that, it just, it sucks. I mean, cancer's been a real bitch the last 10 years of my family. My sister-in-law passed away. It was spread throughout her whole body, brain. My brother survived stage 4 throat cancer. My father. And we had already gone through a couple skin cancer, prostate cancer, and bladder cancer. Now, it's not that I'm too happy or anything like that, but you got to understand that they found out now that firefighter foam that was used for all these years causes a lot of cancers, and it causes bladder and prostate cancer. So I'm trying to find out because my dad's told me some of the stories of him being in the Coast Guard. I can't remember if he ever said he did any of the training with the foam. So I'm trying to get the records just to see. Because if so, they need to honor up their commitments. He immediately after he got out of the Coast Guard, he became a volunteer firefighter. So I'm pretty sure he had training in there, which means he had to train with the foam. I know the show's really weird today. Oh, again, you're listening to the Reaver Common Sense show right here on, SHR Media. We're broadcasting through, let me get the list out, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Facebook. Now, let me back it up a little bit. So if you want to catch us on YouTube, go ahead and search for Reverb Common Sense. Rumble, SHR Media Group. I think you just do SHR Media and it'll pop up. Facebook is SHR Media and Jersey Joe. TikTok is Reverb Common Sense. Now, after the show, I will upload the podcast to Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, and a host of others that I can't remember all the whole list. But we're gaining an audience slowly but surely. I do miss the old days. I mean, hopefully I can get it back to what it was. Even if it's not, I'm going to still do it because I enjoy it. I have fun. I have fun coming on here. I have fun talking. I have fun voicing my opinions. I enjoy it. I feel I'm doing my American's duty of voicing my displeasure with what's going on, voicing my approval with what I think is right. Doesn't always mean that I'm 100% right. I will never say that. But I do research stuff. It's not like I'm just going on here talking out my ass. Well, some say I am. I don't like the direction of this country. I don't like it. We're heading down a path that's leading to the destruction of this country. And I'm not talking like physically. Well, maybe physically, as in, I don't know if we're going to have this government around. Whether it's good, gets worse, gets better, gets split. We have such a divide in this country. I don't know if that rift can be repaired. And no, I'm not calling for... God, I need a new chair. All right, I'm a big guy, and I know I am. I've always been a big guy, but with the medical issues, I've kind of put some weight on. But the problem I'm having is the chair, I can't sit back far enough. It feels like I'm sitting right there on the edge. And so it's got my back going even worse than it already was. Again, listen to I Am. That is EYE space AM. Check them out. It's Kenny Hickey and Johnny Kelly from Typo Negative, and two gentlemen from Crowbar and Down, I believe it is. All right. Let's get on to some articles. What's this one? Joe Biden is now trying to import terrorists. Yes, he's trying to import terrorists into this country. And don't forget, whatever way you're listening, you can jump onto the chat if you're listening live, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, or TikTok. Just jump in the chat. Join the conversation. Even if you want to tell me to fuck off, go right ahead. I've had worse said to me. Don't forget, I'm from New Jersey. That's like saying good morning to me. Representative Andy Ogles, Tom Tiffany, and Scott Perry, as well as a dozen of Senate Republicans, are moving to prevent President Joe Biden from resettling Palestinians in American communities. Not temporarily. He's going to give them U.S. citizenship, past the U.S. citizenships, which means we're going to have to pay for them when they first get here, which means they get free Obamacare. I know. Obamacare is still there. It's just not mandated. It wasn't done away with. It's still there because Pedo Joe here, Mr. Hair Sniffer, has made sure that the DACA kids are now given Obamacare. I have no fucking health insurance, but hey, a bunch of immigrants that come here illegally and immigrants that are of war age that won't stick up for their own country are instead trying to get freebies from us. So our government gives them health care. I have jack shit. I'm not asking for free health care, but I'm also not expecting us to give foreigners free health care. The House Republicans wrote, in a letter to House Appropriation, Ogles, Tiffany, and Perry asked that a provision be included in the fiscal year 2025 spending bill that prohibits expenditures of any funds to issue a visa or grant parole to any alien holding a passport issued by the Palestinian authorities. You know they're going to get around that. Ship them to another country, that'll issue them a passport. Boom, they're in. Whatever the fanciest left notion to the contrary, the United States of America cannot be expected to absorb the rest of the world's problems. And every fucking time there's a problem anywhere, oh, let's send them to the United States. We're full, borders closed. Serious, I'm getting tired of it. We're not fucking Motel 6 here, people. And yes, we have closed immigration for decades in this country. Look it up. A Democrat, I believe it was a Democrat president, closed the borders. You know, we still allowed some immigration in, but for the most part, immigration was closed. Because after World War II, we had so much of an influx that they wanted to give time for assimilation. Then it was opened in the 60s. I guess the faucet broke because they've left that sink on and let it run. If the administration is indeed working in concert with our allies in the region to pave the way for peace, that should come with an exception that those allies are working in good faith to do their part. No more. We've had enough. We're overflowing. I got to find this article. Woo. This one blew my circuits. Now watch, I can't find it. I found it last night. Aha, here it is. You ready for this? You ready for this shit, people? Damn Red Bull. All right. Zelensky says he's working with Washington to tie future presidents' hands, forcing them to support Ukraine. With pedo Joe Biden dropping like a rock in the polls, some countries that have become used to the United States bankrolling them may be getting nervous. Heading that list would likely be Ukraine, which has received about $72 billion of U.S. taxpayers since February 2022. I'm telling you, we as Americans need to mark next year Ukraine down as a fucking dependent. We're financing them. We're paying them. According to the Kiev Institute, with another $60 billion on the way via package Biden signed into law on Wednesday. So you're talking $60 billion plus $72 billion. That's what, $132 billion? My math could be off. I could be doing Mary math is scary math. Ink had barely dried on that spending bill when the Biden administration announced another $1 billion in equipment for that country. Now, that $60 billion isn't all cash. That $60 billion is equipment, arms, cash. And it's not even, transfers aren't even done yet. And we got to give another $1 billion. So let's take the approach of the Democrats. Need more money? Just print it. Well, if you want more intelligence, just print a diploma. Isn't that how it works? If you need something, just print it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Only the government's allowed to print. But that was followed Friday by the announcement of a $6 billion long-term military aid package for Ukraine, the largest to date. So it's not surprising that Ukraine president is frantically working on securing a long-term agreement with the United States, one specifically designed to bind Washington to Kiev's defense well beyond the current administration. Zelensky revealed on Sunday that negotiators between two countries are hammering out a deal of a bilateral pact that would guarantee military hardware, joint arms production, as well as financial assistance to Ukraine over the next decade. We are already working on specific texts, Zelensky said in a Sunday interview address. According to the German news agency DPA, our goal is to make this agreement the strongest of all. He added, we are discussing the specific foundations of our security and cooperation. We are working on fixing specific levels of support for this year and the next 10 years, people. Zelensky said the U.S. support would range from military hardware to joint arms production to financial aid for the next 10 years. The next 10 years, people. Bullshit. They're not a state. They're not even really an ally. And he's mandating the next 10 years? What it is, they know Trump's coming in, and Trump's going to end this shit real fast, this spending like it is. So they're trying to tie Trump's hand, which I don't see how they could do that. I'm sick of this shit. I really am. This is why people are getting pissed at the Democrats. And this is why they're losing a lot of the minorities. Because they care more about other countries, they care more about illegal immigrants than they do their own people. And you're getting people that are waking up to it. And they don't want to deal with that shit anymore. The only time the Democrats care about any American is election time. The only time they care about minorities is election time. They have been using them for decades, and unfortunately, people fell for it. But they're waking up. It is getting absolutely ridiculous anymore. 10 years they want us to pay for Zelensky. And what do we get out of this? Nothing. Oh. I'm so proud of Florida. I am so proud, and I haven't said this before. I am proud of Hillsborough County Sheriffs. Yes, I am. I'm not anti-police, but I've had issues with my sheriff's department. They're a little lazy. They're a little, if it's not going to get them a medal, if it's not going to put them on TV, they really don't want to deal with it. And I told them to their face. What I say here, I will say to them. They have a hard job, and I know they do. I'm not knocking them for that. But they're failing to enforce some laws in the state of Florida, because they think it's beneath them. And they're putting people at risk. They're endangering people. And let me tell you, anybody I ever hear gets hit by a car and injured because of this situation, you better believe I'm going to be plastering it all over and letting those families know they knew this shit was going on and refused to do anything, which I think would open them up to lawsuits. But University of Florida puts Columbine to shame with a perfect statement after arresting agitators. Not a daycare. While universities across countries have let anti-Israel demonstrators take over their campuses, the University of Florida has taken a different approach. Not only will school administrators not think twice about removing disruptive agitators from university property, but a UF spokesman tactfully fired off an insult at pro-Hamas American youth on Monday. 9 people were arrested in Gainesville after protesters chose to ignore warnings from the school in regard to what would and wouldn't be allowed on campus. Campus police and state troopers rolled in on Monday and started slapping handcuffs on people. They gave them warnings. And one of the reasons that they told them that they had to leave is, okay, they were protesting at first. But they started talking about, it was on social media and stuff. They started talking about getting weapons, sticks, shields. Started talking about encampments. That's not protesting. And that's when they said, nope, done. you're gone. They gave warnings. They didn't move. So, tear gas and handcuffs. And from what I'm hearing from one of my sources is, at least one or more of the arrested stated that they don't even know what they were there for. They're paid protesters. And this is a thing that's been popping up a lot. And of course, the left's going, it's a conspiracy theory. Well, then why is there actually companies out there selling this services? Let me find. And when you have the left screaming conspiracy theory in the media trying to, why Trump's rhetoric about paid protesters sounds so familiar. Yeah? Let me pop this up for you. Let me bring this up for you. Boop. Ready? You ready? Look at this website. What does it say? Crowds on Demand is your home for impactful advocacy campaigns, demonstrations, PR stunts, crowds for hire, and corporate event services available nationwide. Protests, rallies, advocacy. How do you think these protesters pop up and they have pre-printed, mass-produced signs, T-shirts, banners? We're a green group. We just showed up. We went in and organized it. Everybody just came together at the same time. You got a couple 100,000 pre-printed signs. Oh, they just magically appeared there because it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, my God. All right, everybody. That's going to be the show for this weekend. Don't forget you're listening to the Reaver Common Sense Show right here on SHR Media. We are broadcasting on YouTube, Rumble, TikTok. Podcast will be up shortly on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Oh, let me stop sharing that. So, hopefully, everybody has a great weekend. Don't forget to hit the follow, share, like, all that. Comment. Like I said, tell me, like me, hate me, want me to get a raise, want me to get fired, go right ahead. If you want to leave a tip, up in each corner of the show are QR codes. If you want to buy me a coffee, go right ahead. You want to send me a tip, go right ahead. Click on those. That's where I accept it. I do not make any money off of any of these streams. This is money out of my pocket that I do freely. If you're kindly enough that you want to help spread the information, I'd appreciate it. Don't forget you're listening to SHR Media, conservative media, done right. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.